Hey, this is Max. I am back with another CSR2 video. This time it's a little something different. I am making a series of videos which I will post on probably a weekly basis for this particular account. I'm going to call it the Fix My Garage series from Max. What it is that I am taking an account that has been built up to about level 66, and I'm going to fix or attempt to fix many of the issues I see that are really mistakes made by many beginning players. And if you follow the system of how I'm going to try to clean this account up, you can then be confident that you too can easily, at level 60s, become a contributing member of a milestone crew. And at this point, I want to give a shout out to the Night Riders who has taken me into their crew. They're a milestone crew, and they allowed me to put this account into their crew, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure they don't have any regrets for adding me to their crew. One of the benefits the Night Rider's already giving me, which is huge, is that we are getting a milestone car in about a day or so. The crew is now sitting at about 18. Let me try to get out of this. So about 19 million for. So it will clear the milestone tomorrow because there's a crew cup coming up where anybody with a car from this season, the SLSAMG, will be able to add about 100, I think about 80,000 points to the crew. So that combined with 30 members, that if at least 10 has the car, we can easily cap 2 million. That will give this account one of the absolute best tier 5 5-star cars for a beginner, and that is the LB Hurricane. So again, thank you, Night Riders. I will not, you will not regret that I'm coming in to join your crew for this season, because I will use every trick in my book to make sure that I put up the minimum that you require. Now, let's talk about this account and what are the problems. So this is an account that's been played for quite a few months. And let's take a look at the garage here. One thing you'll notice right away is that where are the boss cars? Aren't you supposed to have won some boss cars? Well, no, because we rushed through the account building towards Tempest 1. And when you rush, you don't spend the time to build a car right. You're basically scrambling around building whatever car to whatever point you can and trying to get through the event. At the very end, if you don't win the boss car, all that tells me is that the car that was built for that tier was rushed, wasn't built fully, and the consequence is you don't get the boss car. You shouldn't rush through towards Tempest 1. There's no need for that. The Tempest series will never go away. It's going to be there. As you build up, it is just basically an event on the map that you can get some extra stuff out of. Tempest 1 doesn't even give that great rewards. So you want the boss cars from Tempest 1 because they're better than the original boss cars, but even the original boss cars you should be patient enough to get, because by not getting them, you also have not made a good garage out of your available cars. Now, one of the cars that anybody should have maxed at this point would be a tier 1 car like this GTI. Especially if we're going to make it elite, it should have been a definite maxed out car by this point, but it's not. It's not even close. Missing fusions. A car is not maxed when it is stage 5. A car at stage 5 with no fusions is basically little better than stock, is built, but certainly not anywhere near max. So when a player says, oh, I got a max car, I'm ready for Tempest 1 boss, you don't have a max car because you don't have the fusions. You don't have the stage 6 for the tier 2 and up cars. You don't have a max car. You have a built car, and it's only partially built. So that is mistake number 1. You should slowly try to max out the easiest cars first, and that's a tier 1. Why not have a max tier 1? Because you need it to be flexible in doing things. The other mistake that a lot of players make, and I see it in this account as well, is you build everything that you get a hold of. Yes, I understand you may not have gotten them all at the same time. and you pull those keys and boy, I got this new car. It's got some stars. Let me build it. Look, it's a tier 5. I got to build this thing. I need to get through tier 5. No, you don't build every car that comes into your garage. You will be perpetually broke and behind schedule on the car that you should be building. So, what are cars you should be building? Cars you should be building are the ones that, one, you can get parts for, and two, is generally considered decent cars. So, what are those? Let's take a look. You probably wouldn't know as a new player, right? I'm a new guy. I just started this game 2 weeks ago. What do I know what's a good car? They all look good to me. More stars got to be better, right? Not always. So how do you find out? Well, do a little research. We got the internet, and the common thing to tell your kids nowadays is Google it. So Google about CSR2. Go to Facebook. There's a very active site, uh, not site, but a community on Facebook called the CSR2 community. 60,000 plus members, lots of veterans, lots of good info. If you use Facebook, join them. Read the posts, ask questions. Yes, some people will get tired of your same questions, but you're new, say I'm new, I got a question. Do the search first though, so you can say I searched, I couldn't find it, and you should be fine. The next piece is look on Reddit, look on YouTube. There are plenty of information. So that being said, the GTI is a good tier 1 car. Okay, so it's a good car to have, but when you get to tier 4 and 5, you need to really be selective what cars you build. Here, this account spent easily 20 million upgrading these different tier 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tier 5s. Tier 5 cars, 7. Tier 5 cars cost about 6 million a piece to build to max. Even if you only partially built it, you easily spent 3 to 4 million on each car. That means this account spent somewhere around 20 million on 7 different cars, which none of which are really ready to take on the Tempest 1 boss, even at this point. You could have been better off selecting one car and spending your 20 million and basically have it almost to max at this point, and that car would be ready for Tempest 1, 2, and possibly even 3. So again, select a building, and then once you pick a set of cars that will be your primary run cars for Tempest, stick to them. The cars I don't recommend you to build, cars like Mercedes. Chevy is tough as well. Why? Because you cannot get fusions. I made a video on how to get fusions easily for beginners. You should check that video out. That will tell you about this. The other thing that you definitely don't want to be doing is spending all your keys whenever you get them. One of the key things of being in a milestone crew is that you need the PC car. In order to guarantee a PC car, you need 750 silver keys. That's a lot of silver keys. Well, how am I going to get that, Max? I don't even know where the keys are coming from. I only get like 10 here, 5 there, and once in a while, every season, I get a few from the prize cup. Certainly not 750. I can tell you this: if you're an active player, you're on a milestone crew, and you do everything you're supposed to do, you can get 700 silver keys a season. Where are they coming from? They come from here. There's a few silver key sets you get right here in 2 weeks. You get silver keys from playing live racing. You get silver keys from the prize cup and 2 trials. You get silver keys from your daily battles, and you get silver keys from random rewards in the daily challenges. So that's a lot of silver keys. If you really think about it, it adds up. But the key to progression in this game is doing live races. Why? Because every day you can get up to 30 live races where it gives you rewards, and these rewards are important. 10 silver keys each time you get to 15 wins, and bronze keys in between. 100 here, I believe it's 20 and 30 here. That's 150 bronze keys and 10 silver keys. You do that twice in a day, 15 races each time, you now have 300 bronze keys and 20 silver keys a day. That adds up over 14 days. Okay, so that is something you definitely want to do. So One of the biggest fears for new players, oh, my cars are not ready for live. I don't know how to tune it. I don't know how to set it up. You set it up by using a tier 1 first. You can go into live the first week you play this game with this GTI right here, set up with basic TNT tune. That's a tire nitrous trans tune. Basically, you build the 3 items, you fill out the fusions on those, and you tune it to the maximum evo possible. You then take it to live, and you should do just fine. There will be other TNT tune cars out there, so it will be a challenge once in a while, but it's not going to be so hard that you can't get some wins. In fact, for the most part, if you're following that formula and the other people are not, you're more likely to be winning than the guys that are racing you. So keep that in mind. By some fine tuning, you can get the Evo points pretty high. And 521 Evo will actually give you a decent amount of RP points as well. So here you already have a viable car that you can use to get a decent amount of points and therefore be competitive in live. So here I'm going to show you guys real quick that this car is in fact competitive in live by taking it out there. So what do you do each day? You got to do your map races. You got to do your live races. Okay. What are we fixing in this account? What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and save keys, first of all, because I'm going to save up for next season's RX-7. We're going to focus on one garage worth of cars and build them. Knowing that the LB Hurricane is now on the list of possible cars coming in to this particular garage, I think what I'm going to do is change a little bit on my plans, which originally centered around the F12, and potentially switch back to building the Hurricane, because the 5-star Hurricane is useful. However, that's not to say that I'm going to give up on the F12, because there are many trials that require freshness and custom interior. They're called the custom trials. You get a few every season. You don't want to not have any cars for that. And the F12 is one of those cars that is really good for custom trials. So I'm going to use that for that purpose. Here you can see the GTI is doing okay. All right, it's not going to dominate everybody every time, but it is a pretty effective tool for use in live. And here you win, you get keys, you get 400 plus points of respect. And remember, if you're running this car during a wild card, oh, it is a wild card right now, actually. So I'm getting 462 respect out of the wild card. It's not much, sure. For a new player, it's fine though. If you do 15 races, okay, you get a few thousand points, and all of these points eventually add up. So you want that. You're also going to do map stuff, which also give you points, and you're going to make the best use you can out of the Prestige Cup. And this account actually has the Prestige Cup car. It was pulled, but wasn't built because the account wasn't in a Prestige, wasn't in a milestone crew, so there's no point. So that's about to change. Here, another thing is, I happen to be sitting on 30,000 crew points. So just by clicking on that, I have now added another 30,000 to the crew. So today's crew cup gave about 30,000 on its own, plus the 30,000 from here. In one day coming into the crew, I have already added 60,000 to the crew total. So this is all the little things that you need to focus on to contribute to the milestone crew. All right, so what is the plan with this account? I've rambled on quite a bit about problems and things that needs to be done. So what we're going to do is garage number 1 will be the focus garage. This car is going to get replaced with the LB Hurricane when that car is delivered. So I am going to focus on building these because this car is coming up for a Prestige Cup in 2 seasons. And this car here I'm going to use as much as I can for the remainder of the season just to get the points, but it will pull on its own another almost, I believe it's 75,000 points in a crew cup next season. Then you have the next season's cups, and I'm going to try to save enough keys to get that. But I'm going to ignore all the rest of these. So At this point, one of the key focus is not wasting investment and resources on cars that doesn't help you. I'm also not really going to worry too much about Tempest 1 at this point. I will slowly build through the Tier 5 car. I might as well take out Larry and get his car, but it's not a priority. The Tempest should never be the main focus of your growth in CSR2. It is a nice story mode thing to do, but you shouldn't rush it until you're ready. And generally, you don't even have to lock in a car until you're fully ready. Another thing that I'm going to have to do is make money, and that's going to require you to basically play a lot. With a Tier 5 car, you can trade in a lobby and make 12,000 a pop. Now, without gold, I can't add gas quickly, so live racing has to be done with some level of consideration to when you're running low on gas. Make sure you lose one, so you trigger the ad videos, so you can refill and then go back and do it without having to come back to garage. But certainly sometimes you'll have to come back to the garage and deal with it that way. The other thing is you will want to try to get every gold reward you can out of these. Some of these rewards are not that useful. This one is, you want bronze keys, that is. The money certainly doesn't hurt. And now the unit milestone crew, that is good too. These are actually not very good rewards, no doubt about that. But if you can complete them, complete them. But don't stress about it if you cannot. Also, I'm going to try to see if I will pull a 1-star GTI or A-bars at some point, and I will then retire this car and put that one into the rotation. Finally, I'm going to do a lot of live racing with what I have, meaning you have to tune what you got and make the best of it. What I can tell you is the F12 is a dyno beating car, which can easily be used in live to make money. It has to be used carefully or it'll get bumped and you'll never be able to use it anymore. But it can do the job. The GTI is kind of my go-to car as a new account to get the keys. And then right here, this car, believe it or not, can be tuned to beat dyno quite nicely too. So it can pack quite a surprise for people in live racing if they're not careful. Mainly because a simple tune to change the grip and reduce the evo points. Now that's a negative tune, which I don't like to use, but just to kind of prove the point of what it can do, let me use it. I'll do it right here. I don't need to go live to prove it. Your dyno is a 11.1, okay, but your car is going to run a 10.2. So you have quite a margin here to basically run this car in live for the purpose of just getting keys. These are what I call key run cars. And as you're a beginning player, RP is going to be harder to come by, but keys are going to be needed if you want to get that RP. So make a few key cars, run them, it won't hurt you. So here, I didn't even launch it right, but I believe I still pretty much beat dyno by quite a margin. Let's see if the final screen agrees with me. Could prove me to have lied on it. Not 10.4, and that's not even really trying that hard. So you're talking about running a 10.4 on a 11.1. And by the way, when the season comes around for supply cups, there you go. There's your way to get an easy supply cup too. All right. So here, this car will be used a little bit for purpose of just getting through keys. The GTI will be used. And the higher the tier, the better, because you also make your basic money when you win a live race. So what are the goals for this account? One, focus one garage, not all these garages. We're going to be adding cars to this as we pull keys, but unless it's the RX-7, I'm not going to build another car. The other thing is between now and Friday when the Prestige car, between now and Thursday when the new season starts, I got to get some money. And that means playing a lot of regulation races. Yes, it's kind of boring, but hey, if you can do it quick, it's not too bad. You can do it sometimes you can do it while watching a movie because you really don't have to focus that hard on regulation because it's easy. If your car runs really quick, like something like this that runs, 12s already, regulation is not that hard to do. You can take it, run it, get your 12,000 and then rinse and repeat. So that's right here. It says it's easy because it's going to be. That is one way to build up money. It is the boring way to do it, but it is not a slow way to do it. The quicker way, of course, is if you really want to take some gambles is to go to live and actually raise people for money. If you do that, of course, it's hit or miss, right? If you find a guy who happens to have a better tune than you may end up losing 200,000 or whatever it is you bet. That's why I'm not always too keen on running out there to bet money unless it's kind of a sure thing. And there's never a sure thing in live because you don't know what the other guy's tune is. You don't know what he's ultimately going to be able to do. So fix the garage, okay? I've given you a lot of information. A lot of it is kind of jumbled up, so I hope that it's not too confusing. But let me recap what the issues are and what we're going to do. The issues of the typical new player garage is that it is built haphazardly. There's no focus on a particular car, and money is being spent on stuff that may not be of value. Secondly, the account did not focus on generating the right fusions for the right cars. And the only way you're going to get right fusions for right cars is you have to have the right cars, and you have to buy dealership cars and strip them for the fusions. So that is going to be another part of the build process. I'm going to buy cars, I'm going to build them. I'm not going to build them, I'm actually going to strip them and then build the right car like this one, this one, this one, this one. This one I'm actually not that happy with. I would rather build a tier 3 car that is of like a star BMW M4. So if I pull one of those, that'll become a priority. But because it's becoming a PC car soon, it can be maxed using keys. So this will be a focus. So that is going to be the cars I'm working on. When the LB Hurricane gets delivered, that will then immediately move to spot number 1 because that will be the number 1 car for this account, period. Now, the next part is saving keys. People pull keys and then they go, oh, I gotta pull it, maybe I'll get lucky. You sound like some guy who's in a casino desperate to get that hit on the jackpot. Don't pull the keys because there is a way to guarantee you get something, and the loyalty comes in 15 pulls. You get the PC car. 15 pulls, unfortunately, is 750 silver keys. Be patient, save it up. Don't waste them. The other thing is that when you want to get fusions in stage 6 for the PC car, you need bronze keys. So bronze keys are now much more important than they used to be. People used to think, oh, bronze keys, who cares? I'll just spend it. No, you need to save it because it's going to be 500 to 700 a pull depending on the tier. And you want to have enough bronze keys to make the loyalty pull so you can get a guaranteed stage 6. These are all important steps to progression and success in a milestone crew. So I'm not working with an extremely strong garage here. Okay, I have a lot of work ahead of me, but am I confident I'm going to be able to do the job as part of a milestone crew to do 500,000 crew points? And the answer to that is yes, I am. Here's why. You will have the benefit of all the crew cups, and if you're smart and you do them, you get 7,500, 2,250 right there, 30,000 for each token cup. You will get other free cup opportunities, including the one that uses the prior season's PC car, which I now have, and the next season's PC car, if you get it, carries with it almost 400,000 points between the PC cup and the final cup tomorrow, which gives about 100,000 as long as you have the PC car. So 500,000 points for the crew is very, very easy. As you can see, this personal RP points at 186,000 for this season, and you actually get 2 seasons in one quote crew season. So if you're making about 200,000 points personally in each 7 days or so, that's almost 400,000 right there, plus all the free crew points. There's no way you're not going to make 500,000-600,000. So yes, I have every confidence I can meet the crew's requirements and I'm going to be a contributor. But at the same time, I want to fix this account up so that the person who is playing the account has well-built cars that'll get them straight through Tempest 1, 2, and 3 for the most part. 3 is a little difficult. Let's just say Tempest 1 and 2. And once they progress forward, they no longer have to think every season, oh my God, am I going to be able to do anything? You're going to have a live racer or two. You're going to have your key runners. You're going to have your RP generator. You're going to have your map runners. And you're going to have your detuners for feeding those trials just to make it easy for you. And finally, you will have more fun. And that is what this game is all about. And that is why I am doing this in a series of videos to give a new player in this situation some perspective and some advice so you can follow what I'm doing. I am not a top player. I'm not in the top crew. I'm not trying to tell you I know so much that you have to do it my way or you're not going to get anywhere. What I'm trying to do is share some of my experience and knowledge to you as just another milestone guy. I've been in a milestone crew for a while and I'm having a lot of fun. I want to share that information with you so you too can enjoy the game more. So this is going to be the conclusion of part 1. So what is going to be in part 2? Well, we're going to do a 1-week checkup on this account. I'm going to show you where I am as far as points. Have I been able to get the milestone car? And if I didn't, what are the alternatives? So as we progress through next season, you'll see how this account can slowly be focused and turn into a much more easy to use and fun to use account. If you have any questions based on what I've discussed in this video, feel free to comment and ask me, and I'll do what I can to answer. If you have suggestions of what you would like to see in the video, please make suggestions in the comments. Subscribe to the channel because each time I put up the new one, you automatically get a notification. And as always, I appreciate all my viewers and all my subscribers for watching these videos. Thank you, and I'll catch you next time.